So what's the most interesting thing you've done this week?
I pissed a lot of people off by saying that One Piece's sales were down.
Oh, I saw that.
With the facts.
Yeah.
It's really funny. It's just like, but there's a reason they went up and down. It's like, yeah, they still went up and down.
There totally is. And it's like, I don't even know how to argue it because I'm like, no, I agree. But like, it's... Yeah.
But yeah.
But it's your fault.
And then down.
Yeah.
Do you not feel responsible for breaking the news to them about One Piece?
Yeah, I guess. You know, I'm sorry, everyone. Sometimes you just say things and they're completely true, but they upset people. And it leaves you in a weird situation where you're like, I feel like I did something wrong.
But they're just shooting the messenger.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, blame Japan because, like, One Piece sales in the West don't mean anything because they don't use that statistic at all.
What interesting things did you guys do?
I use power tools.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Wood ones. I fulfilled my
destiny. So, like, wooden power tools?
No, I was cutting wood.
Because I can't imagine they would be that effective.
Cutting wood with power tools.
Wood can't cut through wood, though.
It was woodwork.
Yeah, woodworking.
Carpentry.
Like Jesus himself.
Jesus, Joseph, and Niamh. The Holy Niamh.
What about you, Bryan?
Today I'm sick. That's the most interesting thing that happened to me.
I've been so sick last 2 weeks. I'm better now, though.
Yeah, I think it's to do with the pollen.
I always find change of season, though. You get ill.
Yes. So I have a summer cold, which is the saddest thing ever.
It is.
Like, the weather's good. You're supposed to be getting that vitamin C into you, but it's making you ill.
I'm going to apologize now if there's a lot of clinking in this episode. We're all kind of tired, so we're going to drink. And that's how we sit here and talk for 2 hours.
Cheers.
Welcome to the Let's Fight a Boss video game podcast, the strongest video game podcast. We're on episode 49.
Yes.
One more to 50.
One away from our 50th anniversary.
Our 50th anniversary. We've been doing this for 50 years, releasing at a rate of once a year. It's been really interesting.
The oldest podcast ever.
The oldest podcast in existence. And I am sitting here with two of the most powerful wizards in all of Camelot. To my right, I have a pointed hat, a sharp eye, a vulture familiar. It's Bryan.
Hey, everyone. Hey.
To my left, with the strangest and most bizarre spells in all of Narnia, it's Niamh.
I've gone back in that closet.
Oh my god.
Sure. And with you always, I'm your host, John.
Are you not a wizard?
I'm never anything. I'm just you guys get to be warriors and cowboys and space creatures, and I'm just John.
I'm just YouTube sensation Josh.
Sure. Bryan, tell us about this season in television.
Okay, so we talked about it last episode, but let's continue that.
Let's keep that train going.
Okay, so we've got like 5 episodes of Better Call Saul. This week's one is real good. It's kind of like a bottle episode where it just takes place in the one location for the most part, and I really, really enjoyed it. Fargo season 3 got better.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought the second episode was really, really, really good. Then the third episode is pretty good. It's about Carrie Coon's character because she hasn't done anything. So it's just about her. But it has animated sequences in it, and they're kind of good, but they're also kind of super shit.
Huh. What kind of animation?
Like Newgrounds.
Oh, so Flash.
I've been thinking about Newgrounds a lot recently, and I can't figure out why.
It's still going.
Did you guys spend a lot of time in Newgrounds in your day?
Yeah, when I was 17 for sure.
What was your Newgrounds jam?
I like Bitey of Brackenwood. They were like super well made 2D hand drawn Flash animations.
Yeah, he was like the best animator on Newgrounds, I think.
He was the only guy that did like atmosphere in his videos.
I think back to them now and I kind of hate them because like they're the exact kind of animation student bullshit I really fucking hate. But for the time,
oh yeah,
I was I enjoyed myself some Salad Fingers.
Yeah.
Salad Fingers episode 4, where he meets the little caterpillar. It's a really good episode.
Salad Fingers. Please, everyone, send in your Salad Fingers fan art.
I also used to love this one called Shin. Did you guys ever hear this?
No.
So this was like an anime. Think of an anime animated in Microsoft Paint. That's what this looked like. And I thought it was the fucking, like, dopest shit in the world. I loved it. I've meant to go back and watch it for the longest time. I hope one person listening to this podcast knows what I'm talking about. Because it was just about this really troublesome school where all the worst kids go. And they send this other kid to clean the place up. And the teachers all fought, and it was kind of cool, I guess.
Did any of you ever watch, I can't remember the name of it, but this guy animated all the girls from Final Fantasy X2, loads of the Dead or Alive characters.
Monty Young?
Yeah.
Dead Fantasy?
Yeah, Dead Fantasy.
Yeah.
That's super, super famous.
Rest in peace.
I was just thinking about that recently.
Yeah, I remember being like...
Did he ever finish it?
No, he did like the 6th episode, and then I think...
He started doing Red and Blue then, pretty much, and Ruby.
Yeah, he started working with Rooster Teeth, and then he did... then he started doing Ruby. I always remember like...
He's the guy who does Ruby?
Yep.
Oh.
He's dead.
Yeah, he died.
What?
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, no,
It's been a roller coaster.
I don't mean to laugh. Like he died super young, super suddenly, and it was like really tragic.
He died like 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it was so shocking.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And like he seemed in very good health, so it was just really shocking to all involved. But yeah, I remember like watching Dead Fantasy, and I used to love Dead Fantasy. I thought it was fucking cool.
Same.
But then I remember watching Ruby and being like, oh no.
Ruby's cool.
That's not...
What? Don't make that face at me. Ruby's alright. No, okay, for season 1 of Ruby's a bit rough, but Ruby, it's good. Ruby has a lot of lesbian content.
I'm
fine,
going
that's it.
back through this isn't even a conscious thing. I'm going back through every like thing I know you like and every recommendation you've ever given me and just dropping it like 3 or 4 points.
That actually happened to me today as well. I made 2 of my friends watch Jupiter Ascending, and they came in today and they're basically no longer my friends. They were really upset by it.
Yeah, that film sucks.
It's not, it's good.
Okay, that film isn't as bad as Cloud Atlas. Like, Cloud Atlas sucks.
Yeah, Cloud Atlas sucks.
But Jupiter Ascending is like next to it. And then Matrix Reloaded is at the top.
Rollerblading werewolf man. She controls bees because she's royalty.
Yeah, bees recognize royalty. She's never been stung by a bee.
That adds up. My dad's doing a beekeeping course and he told me that. Yeah.
Sake. So anyway, yeah, television shows. Leftovers, we're halfway through Leftovers season 3. We have 4 episodes left. What the fuck is going to happen in that show? Like, they're in Australia taking the piss.
What, really? I haven't watched any more of it.
It's fucking mental.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think I'm going to get any satisfying end to this?
Oh, of course not.
Great.
But like,
my favorite.
It's real good. And then I completely forgot, but now I'm super happy, but also kind of anxious. Twin Peaks season 3 is starting in like a week and a half.
I can't believe it.
I love Twin Peaks. I also love Arrested Development.
Yeah. But this is such an extreme version of that.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? I've been looking for a decent Twin Peaks, like, analysis video.
Oh,
I can't find any.
That's because all the time, when Twin Peaks was popular and David Lynch, stuff like Mulholland Drive, people used to send essays and video essays to each other by VHS. I knew a girl who was mad into the Mulholland Drive stuff.
That is fascinating.
Yeah, so it's before like YouTube and stuff. That's how they got like Buffy analogy, like analysis and stuff. All VHS tapes sent from across the world to each other.
Fucking YouTube was like just teeming, waiting to happen.
Yeah, it really was.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So that stuff is out there, but it's all like written format. You're not going to get some video stuff.
I think a channel we've shouted out before had a okay-ish one, Screen Prism. I think is what they're called.
I really liked that video from last week. It was more of like a introduction.
I
liked it.
I think maybe I'm just not gelling with their style because they're like a kind of studio YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And they do shit like they'll say And so the visuals are important for their emotions, and then like the words visuals and emotions appear in text on the bottom of the screen.
Thanks.
And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, especially when you're looking for an in-deep analysis of David Lynch stuff. If you're going to put the words visuals and emotions up, you know you're not going to get what you're there looking for.
Yeah, it's hard. I feel like a lot of people talk about what Twin Peaks is, but so it seems like just so few of them are like managed to convey why it was charming. It's really difficult.
I think with this show, you're not going to get any closure or satisfaction. You're just going to get more questions, but that's kind of what you want.
Yeah.
I think
you want more mystery.
I think if you are going to Twin Peaks for like concrete answers on what's going on, I don't think that show is for you.
Yeah, I don't think you know what you're doing, really.
David Lynch never wanted to reveal who killed Laura Palmer. And
he
like
was forced to.
Yeah, like I like that reveal fine, but like I'm there for wacky character shenanigans. Bryan, tell us more about the current season of TV.
Have you watched any American Gods?
No, I want to. There's 2 episodes out, isn't there?
Yeah.
Is that based off a comic?
It's based off a Neil
book.
Gaiman book.
Yeah.
It's
really good.
It's got Ian McShane in it, who I love, and it's got Pornstache from Orange Is the New Black, and he plays the leprechaun in it. Because there's a leprechaun in it, but he's like 6 foot tall, because he's like the tallest leprechaun.
Okay.
Because he's just one of the old gods.
John, you'd really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the old gods being cool.
They quit being gods and they just live amongst us like mortals, but they're immortal. But
I can't get that Ruby thing out of my head, Niamh. I'm sorry. It's just like you recommend it, but it's just like
I didn't even recommend it. I said it was good. I said it was all right. What do you want from me? And like I didn't say everyone should watch it.
Look, Niamh likes stuff that you like, and she wouldn't
Right,
recommend
Ruby,
it.
come on.
I know, but she's not recommending it to you.
Yeah.
She has a lifestyle, and she's not trying to push that lifestyle on you. Let's just say that. And Ruby is part of that lifestyle, clearly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe we'll talk about Ruby a little later.
Yeah.
What? Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Woo. Okay, that clears it up somewhat. But yeah.
That's kind of it, really. There's probably other TV shows. What else is there?
Orange is the New Black, is that back yet?
That's not back until the second week of June.
Cool.
And apparently the new season of Orange is the New Black is going to take place over like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, and it's kind of like dealing with Pusey's death.
Yeah.
I like it when shows do that. I love films that take place over a couple of hours.
I kind of like it too, but like my fear with Orange is the New Black is they were kind of bigging up this idea that industrial, like kind of privatized prisons are bad. And now it's like, oh, it's a 3-day kind of dealing with an issue. So have they dropped all of that stuff by the wayside? Kind
Yeah, because there's not really much you can say about that kind of thing.
in 3 days, yeah.
No.
It's an interesting thing, but that series really went all over the place.
Well, like, it might do the flashbacks. It did a little differently now. Maybe they'll do flash forwards or something like Glass, where they'll have a current timeline and then a different timeline.
I think they'll be like, we have to get back to prison.
Yeah. Prison's fucking cool.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Just get to hang out with all.
I've read part 6.
Yeah, you just get to hang out with people all the time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you fight each other.
Oh, man. That's life.
And, like, someone gives you food and you just eat it and that's it. And you get lots of exercise.
Speaking of old shows coming back, going back a topic or two there, I caught up with a fair bit of Samurai Jack season 5, and I expressed like a lot of reluctance when I saw the first episode of that, and like I really did not like that first episode at all. The good news is I think it gets way better after that. There's still like it's still not like as elegant as the old series, and there's still like there's definitely kind of story conventions it's falling into that. Because, like, right now, Jack is kind of, like, teamed up with this girl. And I think things are definitely going to get romantic. But I can't see it being that good or, like, well done. But visually, the show's fucking incredible. Like, oh my god, it looks nicer than it did back when. And, like, I think it is really cool seeing it in 1080 as well. Because, like, the best strips you can get of Jack now are, like, kind of barely 720. And, like, they're all kind of blurry edges. But with, like, all the silhouetted shapes, seeing it so sharp is really, really nice. And they're doing interesting stuff with, like, I guess, like, the M rating on it. Because, like, there isn't really much gore or anything like that. But Jack has, like, killed people now. And a big part of it is him not being okay with that he's killed people, and he kind of keeps going back and forth in his head about it. And it's really interesting to see them acknowledge that side of the story. It's been cool. I think there's only like 3 episodes left and it's gone forever.
Wow.
But definitely, if you like the originals, it's super, super worth checking out. I also watched a ton of Project Runway.
Yeah, I saw this on the docket and I was like, yeah. Which season?
I don't know. I kind of...
Select favorites.
So it's not the newest one. That's 15.
Oh,
15.
Is 15 ongoing?
Yeah, no, it ended.
Okay, tell me about some of the contestants in 15.
Erin. Not Poussey. Laurence.
I don't know their names.
Okay. Erin is a girl who makes like big colourful coats. And that's her shtick, and she's glasses, and she kind of becomes a mean girl. Laurence is a beautiful black woman who makes leather jackets and drop crotch pants.
She made like amazing dresses all the time. No, maybe that's what. Fuck, I can't remember. I might have.
Are you watching it on Netflix?
No,
I don't know what season you're watching.
it could be any. Michelle is watching a ton, and so I am watching a ton. That's a good show.
Yeah,
it's a genuine I always think like reality TV gets a lot of shit, and like rightly so in some cases. But I like that show because it's just like all these people trying to make this creative thing, and like it can be really like weirdly inspiring sometimes watching them like what way they go. I don't think I've ever seen a reality TV show where I cannot predict the judges so thoroughly. I never know what the judges are going to like. Do you find that?
Well, I've been watching it so long now, I kind of know the judges.
Yeah.
Like Nina, I know Nina, like Nina's my girl. She kind of likes traditional, conventional clothes and stuff, but like she's been getting a little spicier in her older age now, and she's kind of like pushing the boat out. And Zach Posen kind of like shakes the stuff up a little as well. And like obviously Heidi, she likes short skirts.
Is Heidi like a robot?
No, she's just foreign.
Heidi Klum.
Yeah, Heidi Klum. It's her show.
I know, but by the way, she's kind of like super dull.
She's not. Heidi's amazing.
Oh, Niamh.
Oh my god. Have you ever seen Heidi's Halloween parties? She does the craziest Halloween costumes.
the ones with her and Seal.
Yeah.
I've seen those. They're cool.
She's super into costuming. She's like, she created all of Project Runway. This is her baby, like.
Because she kind of reminds me like a fashion robot.
Well, I mean,
I
guess.
like to me, whenever I saw it, she wasn't like hype.
She's not hype. She's kind of low key. But like, if you're going to be hype all the time, like, that's tiring.
I don't know. Like,
she's a mom.
But like how you watch RuPaul and you're like, oh yeah.
Well, yeah, RuPaul is drag queens and high energy. Like, this is Project Runway. This is fashion and like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fashion doesn't have high energy at all.
But like, it's judging
what do you say
fashion.
About fashion?
You're like,
I'm going to apologize to everyone for Niamh's comments on this show. Like, I think there's been several already that are pretty out of line.
Do you think Project Runway is just trying like really like try not to be like RuPaul?
Project Runway existed before RuPaul.
I know, but
RuPaul is based on Project Runway.
Okay, but you know how like now it's like 10 years later and they're just really trying to like separate themselves from each other, but they both have the same audience, I guess.
Would they?
They would.
What's the contest in RuPaul? Is it voguing?
There's a bit of everything. Sometimes they have to make their own outfits.
Okay.
Sometimes they have to act. Sometimes they have to do a cheer.
I've been meaning
like
to
in a dance
get
routine.
into that show for a long time because I've heard universally fantastic things about it.
Fucking brilliant.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Niamh, tell us about casting Jonbenet. Benet. Okay.
Jonbenet Ramsay. If you don't... Okay. Going from Project Runway and RuPaul into murder.
Yeah.
There's loads of documentaries about this case on YouTube. There's a really good BBC one that you should look up. It's just an hour long. But casting Jonbenet Ramsay is a Netflix original. And I was kind of all set out to be like, what? Oh, is this another making murder kind of thing that they're going to exploit this kind of case? So the story of Jonbenet Ramsay is she was a 6-year-old pageant beauty. And she was found dead in her house. Before they found her dead, they found a 3-page ransom note that was just rambling. And they've never found out her killer. The note was written on notepaper from inside the house. They expect the parents wrote it. They don't know how she died. She died from strangulation and blunt force trauma to the head. They don't know who killed her. There's just no answer. There's like there was a big media storm. The parents were blamed because they weren't showing the right amount of emotion, kind of Madeleine McCann kind of stuff. My theory, which is the BBC theory as well, is her little brother accidentally hit her and she died, and the parents covered it up to protect him. So that's the kind of theory I prescribe to. But this Netflix piece, it's like an hour and 20 minutes. They're casting people from the town Jonbenet was from, so it's Boulder, Colorado, to play the roles of the parents and everyone involved in the case. But the movie becomes more of a portrait of the people they're casting. So it's like these kind of actors in the town being like, oh, I hope I get this job. Oh, if you want to cut my hair, you can cut my hair for the role. They kind of go on a bit more, and like the woman's like, well, I had a murder in my family, so I'm kind of drawing from that experience to play this role.
Fascinating. Holy shit.
Yeah, so it just becomes a portrait of these townspeople.
This is a documentary?
It's it's a documentary.
Is it like a series or a...
It's just one. It's a movie.
It's a documentary, but it's also like a dramatic reenactment behind the scenes.
Yeah, because like they're shooting they're casting these roles and they're shooting them acting out some of the the ransom note, the 911 call, these kind of the scenes of the father finding Jonbenet dead and stuff. And they all kind of they have 10 versions of the mother and 10 versions of the father, and they're all playing out these different roles simultaneously in this version of the house at the end. And it's just shot beautifully, and it's pretty respectful, and it's more kind of about a town and these people who went through this event and
that
how
sounds
it's
deadly.
kind of changed it.
100% going to check that out.
Yeah, it's really good. If people like true crime and just it's a good movie, even if you don't.
Old mysteries really get me. Kind of... There's something kind of mystical about them because the technology didn't exist to really find out what the fuck was going on. Did you ever hear with one about the little circus girl in America?
That could be many.
This was right back in the 1940s or 50s, and it was about this little girl, and basically there was this huge, big, massive circus somewhere in America. It's been a while since I read about it, so I can't remember the details, but it was this massive, hundreds and hundreds of people in the audience, and there was this fire, and the fire burned down the entire circus. Huge, big thing. And there were no fatalities. Everyone got out okay, except for one little girl. There was a little girl's dead body was found at the circus, from smoke inhalation. And what's unusual is that no parents ever came forward to claim her, and they couldn't figure out who the girl was. And it became this nationwide thing where they were who is this? Where did she come from? How did she get here? And she was dressed normal and everything. And they were never able to find a single shred about who she was or where she came from.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it's really...
Do you think okay, I'm going was the fire a cover up? Was this girl kidnapped at the circus and died?
I have no... my guess is that she must have been with the circus.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't they just say that was ours,
Yeah.
But that's a weird one. But yeah, that sounds super good. I'm gonna check that out. I checked out a movie that you guys watched a couple of weeks ago, The Green Room.
Oh yeah,
that's a really good movie.
Yeah.
This is the band that plays at the Nazi.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a really good example of a very violent film that never feels torture porny.
Yeah,
it's just the violence is all really quick and sudden, and God, I had a hell of a time with it.
The bit where they're trying to hold a door and he puts his arm in around the door and then he pulls his arm back in. The makeup and effects on his arm.
Yeah.
And it's just on for a minute and you kind of you think knife wounds and stuff or box cutter wounds. You kind of don't really think about them.
No, it's like cutting bread.
Yeah, and it's just it was really disturbing.
The human body is a simple, malleable thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bits in it was one of the end scenes where the dog is just trying to find his master.
That really got me.
No matter how vicious the dog was, it was still just walking home trying to find.
Because the dogs were such a thing in that movie. I'm not going to give it away, but there's a certain way that I really like films to end, and they never end that way. Something will always happen in the last 10 minutes of a film, and I'll be cut right fucking now. Cut right now, it'll be awesome. And this is one of the only films where I saw them do it. Just that last cut is so good. Really, really good ass horror movie. Well, it's not really a horror movie, thriller thing.
Yeah, it's a thriller.
Yeah, I'd call it like, I don't know.
Intense drama.
It is a horror, but it's more of a kind of modern horror. Like, it's not a slasher.
I think it does like a really good job of
Social horror.
Yeah, putting you in the like shoes of those characters, and like just the situation just gets so bad so fast.
I've asked a few friends who are in punk bands. I was just like, does it ever freak you out, the idea that there might be like skinheads or anything? And sometimes it happens. Like, you just have people like that show up at your events. It's like, it kind of gets like creepy. But it made me think about like the punk scene in like kind of, wow, there's some scary aspects to that.
Definitely. Because it's like a modern film based on modern shit.
Yeah.
And like...
Yeah, it's definitely relevant.
Yeah, 100%. But really, really good watch. I think that's it's on European Netflix anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if people want to check that out, they totally should.
I highly recommend his previous film, Blue Ruin. It's the same kind of tone.
Yeah.
It's a different situation, but you can tell it's the same director.
Is it a horror as well?
It's another social horror about a guy who's getting revenge on a family that ruined his life like 30 years ago.
Cool.
And it's real personal, and it's focused on a small
group. This
group.
a couple of months ago, did we?
Yeah, I highly recommend. I think you both need to watch that movie.
Yeah, sure.
Blue Ruin, as in ruins, as in like ancient ruins.
Okay, cool. And then the last thing on our list is there was some crazy shit that went on in Survivor a couple of weeks ago, and I saw it recently, and that is a piece of television. Basically what happened was that there was a trans contestant on Survivor, Zeke, and Zeke was outed in one of the voting rounds, and you can find this clip on YouTube, and I advise you watch it because it's crazy. And it was kind of awful because like this other guy outed him. He's just like, he thinks it's this like ammunition against him, and he's like, why haven't you told anyone you're transgender? As if that would matter.
Yeah.
And it was really awful, but it was kind of weirdly positive as well because everyone really rallied to Zeke's defense. And then like, I think I saw comments from Zeke afterwards and he was like, I'm happy to be out and I hope this inspires other people. And that was kind of nice too.
Yeah, like Zeke dealt with it really well. It was really like, this is the current season. It's still ongoing. It's season 34, Game Changers. So it's...
Have you watched all 34 seasons?
Yes.
They shoot them back to back, so it's more like...
There's 2 a year. It's amazing.
Yeah, there's 2 a year. It's been going on like 13 years.
Never without Survivor. I want a Survivor-themed wedding.
Yeah, you've said that many times. So, Niamh, if you're in a game of Survivor, and me and Bryan are there as well, what are your tactics?
To like beat you guys?
Well, would you get rid of us straight away? Or would you try?
John's pretty useful.
Yeah, like John has muscles on muscles, so I'd probably keep him for the physical challenges. Bryan, I think, would like blindside the shit out of me.
Oh yeah.
I think Bryan,
so I'd probably get rid of Bryan.
Bryan would
really
win
quickly.
a lot of people over. Bryan's good at making people think he's nice really fast.
I know, but people are suspicious of that, so I'd be like...
Yeah. I thought with this podcast, I'd kind of out Bryan as like just the crazy sociopath I think he is. But everyone just likes him, so it didn't fucking work. And now we're still doing it.
They would just think you're hysterical.
I know.
The way I do it is, I'd see other people behave unusual, and I go to the people around me and go, get a load of that guy. And then they'll all be like, yeah. He's right. He's different to that guy.
I think I'd be out week one. I don't come across well on first impressions, I don't think.
You'd probably be like, you'd be super pleasant and polite to someone you've just met, and they'd be like, he was so rude. And so would you, Niamh. They'd be like, what's her problem?
I'm trying.
Whereas I'd be like, I'm Bryan. Hey.
It's like, that guy's way overly friendly.
Do you think we'd all just be gone?
Oh yeah.
Like straight away.
First 3 weeks.
How the fuck do you win Survivor?
How do you win it?
Yeah.
Well, okay. When you make the merge, and that's kind of halfway through, everyone who gets voted off then becomes a jury member. Then the final 3 who survived the final 3 have to be the winner of the million, gets voted by the jury. So they can't piss off too many people because that's a vote gone. So it's like, I don't know, the last season I really didn't like it because I felt a sob story won it. And I was just like, eh.
Yeah, that's not fun.
And it wasn't like good gameplay. And I was just like, usually that doesn't happen and it's down to good moves.
Do they play do they mix up the gameplay each season, or do they follow like a strict formula? Because otherwise,
it's a pretty strict formula, but they kind of have changes in it. Like it's you have your immunity challenges where a team will win immunity, so then the other team will have to go to the voting round and have to vote out one of their members. And then when you get to the merge, it's an individual immunity. So say if you think you're being voted out, that you're going to get voted out, you're on the bottom, you do everything in your power to try and win individual immunity.
And you can find like immunity talismans all over the islands.
Immunity idols.
And one of my favorite things to ever happen was that someone made a counterfeit immunity idol.
What, out of like twigs?
Yeah, and planted it in a place that another person had found it. And so that person tried to use it. And the host was like, this isn't real.
Jeff was like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, he was like, oh, Jeff, he really cuts through me with his disappointed dad voice. Like, he'd be like, and looks like Miranda isn't doing very well in this challenge. It's like an angry soccer dad voice.
Sometimes the contestants snap and they're like, I know, Jeff, I'm not doing well.
Michelle told me about that the other night.
Don't get mad at Jeff.
Survivor, that's another show where I'd be like, reality TV, kind of garbage a lot of time. That's some good television.
You see, I think there's reality TV and then there's reality competition-based TV, because you still have to be good at what you're doing to win a competition.
Yeah. I like any reality TV that you just see people as they actually are. And you can't really get much closer to that than Survivor, because so many weird factors are being tested. And it's really interesting because like everyone has the same power. Everyone has one vote to eliminate someone. But then like you start to see people become more powerful just because of how charismatic they are, how manipulative they are. And it's really interesting.
And then there's like one person who kind of falls between two teams, and instead of them being on the outs, it's like they're the swing vote now. And it's like,
and then everyone tries to win them over.
Yeah, and it's like, how did you suddenly get in this position? It's really interesting. There's another series that I've never watched, but I want to. I think it's called Naked Fear, where they drop two people, I think it's a man and a woman, naked in the middle of an island, and they have to survive on like just the shit that's there.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah, it sounds fucking weird. I want to watch that.
That sounds like something I would like.
Yeah.
John, would you like to watch that with me? Like just you and me together watching that.
Like, maybe. Like, what, are we going to get food?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And like, they'll probably be real hungry, but we're not hungry because we're eating food.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah, we're eating chicken.
The best challenges is when one of the teams win a giant like banquet of food, like pizza and cold beer and stuff, and the other team are just like they go from like very curvy people to emaciated by the end of it, because they're 30 days on like rice and like single chicken. So like you feel for them when Jeff is like, you can win cheesecake. You're like, oh, I've never wanted cheesecake more.
Tastes real good.
So we're going to move on into our strategy talk. Bryan, you've been playing Mario Kart 8.
Mario Kart 8.
This is the video game portion of our podcast.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This is the definitive version of Mario Kart 8, a game that came out 3 years ago, now re-released on the Nintendo Switch. The second Nintendo Switch game I own.
How do you feel?
Yeah, it's really good. Like it's Mario Kart 8, which I played the shit out of, and like it's the same game with like a few new characters, battle mode, and minor tweaks to like menu settings, things like that.
I think the new characters are pretty cool because it's like Dry Bones, right?
Yeah,
he's fucking awesome. King Boo.
King Boo's in it, yeah, and the Splatoon Inklings are in it.
That's cool.
The battle mode's great, and the online works super well. It's kind of like the difference between like Street Fighter 4 and then Ultra Street Fighter 4, where it's just a more refined version with all the bells and whistles.
And I think like if you like those games, those upgrades are always worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, the best thing is when you play it as a handheld, it's amazing. Because it's just like a super sharp 60 frames per second Mario Kart in your hands. And it looks amazing.
There's never going to be a situation where that's a bad thing.
Yeah, like it just... Because I loved Mario Kart on the DS. Or like I really like the Game Boy Advance one. I love the DS one. And I really like the 3DS one as well. So just to have like just like proper Mario Kart without any like holdbacks on it. Like this is like the best version of Mario Kart you can ever get, and it's as a handheld. It's amazing.
Yeah. That's just that weird Switch bonus we've been talking about, where it's like any game on the Switch is automatically kind of like a few steps above because you can take it places. Like I keep thinking about Disgaea on the Switch.
Yeah, that I think it's out in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the bomb.
You gonna get it?
I might wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I got enough shit going on right now.
Niamh, I'm looking at your Google avatar here. I think you're gonna be getting it.
Yeah. I've had Laharl as my Google avatar, I think, since the first game came out on the PlayStation 2.
I remember I saw that at one point and I was like, huh, Niamh likes Disgaea.
Maybe
That is, the assumption you would make.
do you like those penguins?
I do. I played the Prinny game for the PS Vita.
How is that?
It's good. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Really difficult. I think you'd probably love it. It's like one of those games that like people like torture themselves by. Maybe, I'll give it to you.
Okay, sure.
I'm having a great time. The online works super well. They've done like tiny things where like if you're in the menu settings for a race, but if you want to change your vehicle, you could just change it in the menu settings. Beforehand, you would have had to quit out of matchmaking.
Oh, yeah, that was so annoying.
And get a new vehicle, but like it's streamlined stuff like that really pushes it across.
Would you notice any visual difference between the Wii U version?
The Wii U version is at 720p. This one's at 1080p.
Because that was already a very good looking game.
Yeah, like this is locked 60. Like it never dipped for me.
Is it 1080 handheld and then 720 on screen? Or is there a difference?
No, like it still looks like, well, maybe it might be 720 on the handheld. But
I think the handheld is running better, and then the on screen is kind of.
Yeah.
That's just what I was reading, but.
The one thing I don't like about this is so this isn't something I noticed when I played Zelda on the Switch, but the buttons, like the A, B, X, Y buttons on the Switch are really, really hard and tiny. And when you have to press A to accelerate for the whole race, when you take your thumb away from the Switch Joy-Con, you have like a big indent because that's not a comfortable button to press.
Do you think they'll like bring out like peripherals with a button cover?
I think they're just going to make you want to buy that Pro controller.
Yeah.
Because I played the Pro controller at a friend's house and it feels so good. It's like one of the nicest controllers I've ever held in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some pretty good things about that.
It's really, really comfortable. It's just like so ergonomically like on point.
Even compared to like PS4 one, because I love that controller.
I really love the PS4 one.
This is as good as the PS4 one.
I bought a new one today, a red one.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like I've never bought a new controller for any console. I've always used the one that came in the box. But I've worn down the thumb pads on the PS4 one. So it's just like finally, so I got a nice bright red one.
I got a white one. It's pretty nice.
Cool.
I really want to get another one, but the one I want is like the dickhead one.
The camo one?
The urban camo one.
Yeah, I knew that was your one.
Well, what if Brian's like shooting the shit out of people, but he also wants to play some PS4?
Yeah, like it's so cool. Like I actually really like the camo pattern because you look at one of them is actually in the silhouette of the PlayStation controller.
Oh, cool.
Like it is. It's not.
Yeah.
But it is a dickhead controller. I'm sorry if listeners have that controller, but like you are a dickhead.
But you're gonna get it, so it's fine.
Oh yeah. So I'll also be a dickhead.
Brian's your king. It's fine.
Yeah.
But that magma red one is really nice.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's hot.
Niamh, you've been playing Heroes of the Storm.
Jesus.
You know, my last episode, I was just like, I'll never play that, especially for Overwatch shit. I played it for Overwatch shit.
I played a little bit as well.
Did you get any of the skins?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I think I've played like 4 games.
Okay.
Oh, you need one more to get the Genji one.
Okay, so to play Heroes of the Storm, can you just buy a subscription for that?
It's free. It's free to play.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So like, I would not have like just bought it for Overwatch skins. But the only thing I really have to say about it is I think Blizzard are doing their Heroes of the Storm player a giant disservice by getting Overwatch noobs in there to play for skins. Like I was playing and for some reason I was being matched with like level 64, level 80 and shit. And they were just like, you noob, what the fuck? And I was like, I'm sorry.
I'm just here for Overwatch.
I'm here for the Overwatch skins.
So if people don't know, Heroes of the Storm is Blizzard's take on the MOBA genre. Mm-hmm. But the weird part is like Heroes of the Storm is like a take on League of Legends, which is a take on Dota, which is a take on a World of Warcraft 3 mod, which Blizzard own. So in a weird way, it's like coming full circle for them.
And Heroes of the Storm is it fantasy?
everything.
It's everything. It's basically all their properties in together. Like
Okay.
There are space marines.
The heroes.
There are
Yeah,
space
yeah.
marines and there are elf maidens.
To be honest, that was kind of the most off-putting part of it. I kind of downloaded it expecting a really polished Blizzard experience, and I guess it is polished, but it doesn't have its own identity. It's got like it's a mishmash
that's how
of
I feel
everything.
about a lot of Blizzard stuff. Overwatch not included. But like I always feel like the polish you get from Blizzard is like visuals. It's in like music and production and CG cutscenes. In terms of having like a coherent stylistic aesthetic, not at all. I find World of Warcraft kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it's like the dwarf is rendered really cool, and it's a really nice like 3D model. But the music is from the Hanamura map, from like, you know, there was just bits of Overwatch shoved in there, and it just didn't have its own identity in any real way that would make me go, wow, I love Heroes of the Storm. I love what that is. It's like, no, I like the stuff that they're putting in from other properties I like, and that's exactly why I'm here. So this guy was like, you noob, stop playing this game. And I was just like, I would love to. I'm here for this. I am here for the skins.
Did you say that?
Yeah. And
Just bear with me. I'm going to be gone soon.
And the tutorial was really bad as well. So like, I don't really have any experience with MOBA apart from a little bit of Dota. And I was just like, I don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing. And I didn't felt the tutorial helped me at all. So I was just like, our house is under attack. And someone was like, don't call it house. I was like, pots and pans all over the shop.
Did you play it on computer, or how did you play it?
It's PC. Yeah, it's PC only.
So it's a PC only game, but you're getting a code for your PlayStation 4 version of Overwatch.
You can link your accounts.
Okay.
You download the Battle.net like client, and you link your PS4 account to that. So it just unlocks straight away once I'd finished the matches.
So I played this with my cousin, and I would not be playing it if I wasn't playing with him. Do you think you'll ever go near it again?
While I was playing, and I was playing with Rebecca to unlock this again, I was just like, the two of us in the room playing it, and I was just like, we're like, oh, I hate this game is shit, I fucking hate it. By the end of it, both of us were all like, because we'd like won our last like 3 or 4 games.
Yeah,
By the end of it, we were kind of like, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because like we kind of got into a flow with it, and I played like I main this little dwarf bastard all the time, and I kind of loved him by the end of it. I was like, yeah, you go, little dude. So it's kind of, I wouldn't mind throwing it on for a game here and there, but
I'd play with you. I'd give that a go.
yeah, but it's like the thing I think with it, like with MOBAs and like with Overwatch, the real enjoyment becomes from being really good at it, I think. So I think it's a time sink that I don't really have or want to put into it.
Especially this year.
Yeah,
because
there's so much.
And there's Destiny. Or the summer, and you know the way you got to hook that up to your veins.
Yeah, exactly.
So you unlocked the Genji skin, which is Genji with an Oni mask.
Yeah.
And Officer Diva.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, everyone likes the Officer Diva skin. When you're playing Overwatch, everyone kind of stops in front of you to have a little look. And she looks cool. She's in her little slacks. It's cute.
And you main as the Zenyatta?
Yeah.
Does he get a skin?
No.
Right.
Zenyatta is the only character in Overwatch I have any pride playing as. The rest of the time, it's just me apologizing all the time, especially as Widowmaker. But Zenyatta's fun. But no one likes Zenyatta.
Zenyatta's got some cool skins just generally, like the Nutcracker Christmas skin.
They're all
amazing.
seasonal though. His Halloween one's amazing as well. It's like he's got skulls.
It's good, and his beautiful Chinese New Year one.
I saw a comic that was like a Zenyatta Zarya ship, and I was like,
what the fuck?
All right, sure.
Okay.
Gotta ship him with someone, I guess.
They love each other.
Genji. That's the most popular ship for Zenyatta.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't like that.
It's like the robot lovers.
Look, we'll get to all that.
I will teach you how to love. Like that. Hold my hand
Exactly like that.
as we come together as one.
Okay, moving on swiftly, because this
My
is...
darling robot, I love you.
You're so good at that.
Teach me how to feel.
This is Bryan speaking, everyone, just in case.
My eyesight means a lot to me.
Do you remember that ad?
Yeah, I do.
Would you like to play a game?
Do you think we should do... I can't really do much more because I have a bit of a cough. Like, I'm just not feeling real good. But we'll do a different episode where I'll do my robot voice for like a good half
I think
hour.
we should get into like fictional guest characters. think Bryan can be a robot. Niamh can be like a trucker.
Sure.
Niamh, give us your best trucker.
No.
That's pretty good. Yeah, he's good. He's not into it. He's driving for like 16 hours.
Yeah, I'm not part of this situation.
I've been playing Nier more, and I still have not played enough of that game as I should, because I think you need to hit the first ending and start seeing what it's about. It's really growing on me though. I actually read this Kotaku article, which was like, Nier is way better if you remap the buttons. And I was like, shut the fuck up, Kotaku. You know the way like you always see headlines from Kotaku, and then like I always look at who wrote it, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
They're actually kind of right though. The dodge in Nier is like mapped to the right trigger. So when you want to dodge, you have to hit the right trigger. But the right trigger is like,
shoot.
It's very plungy, you know? Like it's not click, it's like a pull.
It is, yeah.
And so I remapped it to circle, and it feels way better.
Circle's a dodge button.
Yeah, and I really recommend doing that. And I know why they do that, because Platinum had Bayonetta like that as well.
Yeah, because of Witch Time.
Those were on different shit, so it was kind of fine. But it plays a lot better. But even then, like, the systems started opening up in some interesting ways. I found this robot who he wanted to race, and I couldn't beat him. I just did not have the capability to beat him no matter what I did. So then I went into like my like plug-in chips, and I plugged everything out, including like my health monitor, my XP counter, my damage counter, everything. My entire hood I plugged out. And so I plugged in speed chips instead. So basically all I was just this running cyborg, and I was able to beat him like that. And that felt really good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you can even there's even like an OS chip you can plug out, and if you take that out, you die, because it's your OS chip and you're a robot. I can't put my finger on it yet, but it feels like there's going to be a bunch of fucking horrible, devastating things in that game. I remember in the first Nier, there was this side quest where you have to go find a guy's dog.
Oh, yeah.
And then you find the dog and it's dead. And it has like a medicine leaf in its jaws that he was trying to bring back to him. That was the first time in Nier I was like, this is going to be kind of fucked up. I have had my fucked up equivalent in Automata so far. There was some stuff where like you kind of find out someone's dead, and then you go and tell the person they're dead, and their reaction is really, it's not nice, and it's really weird, and it makes you feel bad. And I'm hoping for more of that stuff, because the game's fucking cool. But I've also been getting distracted a ton by other stuff. Namely Persona 5 and Yakuza 0. Bryan, you've been playing a bunch of Persona 5.
Yeah, so in Persona 5, I've caught up to the Flash, the present tense. So the way that game works is that it's got an opening cutscene and then a flashbacks to April.
Some of those flash forwards are so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, they happen whenever you make a social link. Yeah. And sometimes the social link you make is like, it's really hard to define, and they're really like, you couldn't have made that much coffee by yourself.
Yeah. That's because I had a social link with my fake uncle Sojiro.
I like Sojiro.
The coffee man. So I've caught up with that now. And it's not a spoiler because like it's on the front of the box. But I have all 9 characters in my party now. The 9th character, I fucking hate.
Is that the guy with the hair?
Yeah. I hate his fucking face. I hate his hair. And
I have no idea who this character is.
You will. As soon as you see this character, you're going to be like, ugh.
Wait.
He kind of looks like a dick.
Yeah, he's such a dick.
Wait, he's not... I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, no, don't. People who know who I'm talking about know who I'm talking about. And, like, it's real obvious what's happening in the story and, like, what this character's role is. Like, I'm sure it'll get a bit better, but, like, for fuck's sake.
Are you enjoying it still, or is this kind of taking you out of it?
It's taking me out of it, but it's fine. This is just me, like, looking at it as a video game and not, like, getting into it anymore.
Yeah.
But I know I'll get, I'm sure I'll get back into it.
I feel like that game is very good at leading me down paths where I'm like, this isn't great. And then right at the last minute, it turns around and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Because what was happening for the past few dungeons is it was just the same formula each time. But then the previous dungeon, something different happened, and then this one, something very different happened. And
oh, fuck that. Are you serious? Brian, I know who Brian's talking about. That's lame as shit.
yeah,
Right to the fucking back of the party he goes. I'd take Yusuke over him.
I really like Yusuke.
Yeah, I like Yusuke too.
He's so lame. You guys are so lame.
No, Yusuke is fucking cool. Ryuji's lame.
Yeah, Ryuji is lame.
But, like, he knows he's lame.
Yeah.
As well, I fucked up real bad with the girls.
Brian.
Yeah, what's the waifu situation, Brian?
Okay, so you've got... so there's, like, 4 main waifus, and then there's 3 other adult women. Well, actually, no. 1 is in our team, but then I think the other 2 or 3... No, the other 3...
There's some straight up, some mature ass women in there.
There are 3 adult women, another teenager, and then there's the 4 girls who are actually, like, part of the Phantom Thieves.
Can you romance the older women?
Oh, yeah. But you can't romance guys.
Niamh,
Gay relationships are just, whoa, too much. But an older woman, like, trying to get with a 17-year-old, A-okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it happens.
So does gay relationship.
And like each one of those women,
And they're
'cause
consenting and not, like, fucking predatory.
I watch the YouTube cutscenes of them, and they're all like, "I know I shouldn't be doing this."
Oh my god, really? Wow.
Yeah, and it's such a fucking weird fantasy thing. So the 4 main girls, you've got An, you've got Makoto, you've got Futaba, and you've got Haru, and they're all great.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bad one in the bunch.
I really, really like Haru as well. Like people shit on Haru, but like her Phantom Thief outfit is fucking brilliant.
Who do you think you'd date if you could date the boys?
Yusuke.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to get too vulgar, but can you imagine having sex with Yusuke?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It would not. He would just be like, "Shall I lie here?"
He would
No.
be beautiful and sensitive. And
Oh
there would
my
be music
god,
playing.
no!
Fucking Yusuke is an otter. He'd slip all over you.
Shall I lie? Shall I lie on the bed, or would you like to lie on the bed? Would you mind if I paint a portrait of you? It would be I wish there were better.
He can paint on me.
Yeah, sure. I wish there were better husbandu options.
Yeah, there's
Not like
only...
it would matter.
Yeah, true, but
So I've decided to go with Makoto because she's really, really fucking cool and grew
she's
on me.
fucking awesome.
But also Futaba and Haru are a pain in the ass to build a confident link with, because you need level 5 kindness with Futaba and level 5 proficiency with Haru to even get past level 2. Like,
kindness is a hard one.
yeah. So
How do you get your kindness up?
you have to watch nice movies. Or make coffee with Sojiro. But really, like, they're New Game Plus waifus. And I just ended up, I really, really liked all the cutscenes with Makoto, and she's had some really, really funny one-liners. The bit where she's, like, spying on you at one point, and you could just see her reading manga, but she's not following
like
you.
you're walking around the school, and you can see her character model just, like, holding up a little manga. And
Which is not looking at the manga, she's just looking at you.
I like her a lot. I think she's great.
And so her, like, confident storyline's pretty interesting. She slaps a friend. So I ended up like picking the dialogue option where it's like, I like you. And then we start a relationship. But then the following day, I was at level 9 with Anne, and I picked the wrong option, and she started confessing to me. And I was like, oh, no.
Brian,
and
I'm a little suspect of your story.
what happened then was you've got 2 options, and one is say, like say, I love you back, or say, sorry, I didn't hear what you said. And so I went, sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh my god, that's so cruel.
And then,
That's so anime, Brian.
and
That's
then,
the worst 2 options.
and then what she says is, she screams, I love you. And then it just auto plays a cutscene where the guy just starts kissing her. And I was like, what are you doing? Don't do that. You have a girlfriend.
Oh my god, so like...
I've
you in a-
I've saved Scum, so I've actually like made sure that is not happening in the canon anymore.
Oh man, I would have played that out. I'd like at that point, I'd want to see where that went.
But do you think the game will do anything about it?
In Persona 3, I did that with 2 girls, and one of them got really mad at me.
What they do is you can actually date all the girls. When it comes to Valentine's Day and you have to do your Valentine's Day date, it plays a very funny cutscene.
Because like I think it was like the last Mass Effect or the last Dragon Age. It gets to the point where if you're seeing too many people, the person you're into is kind of like, look, lock it down. Like, yes or no. So it's
That's
like
a good way of doing it.
yeah, because like
Yeah.
I feel guilty personally.
No, with this, like, it's very much like you are promised to this girl, but I ended up being promised to 2 girls because Anne was like, I need you so bad right now. And I was like,
I like how you're trying to justify it, Brian. Like you're the victim in all this.
See, what happened was she was upset and there was 2 options. It was like, you have the others or you have me. And I was like, well, like, I'm here now, so you have me.
Imagine
and then
being on a date with someone and opening up to them and them just being like, well, you've got other people.
yeah, and so and so I said you have me because I thought it was like a friendship thing. But then she started confessing to me, and I was like, what the fuck, girl, Jesus. But then I did it this time and I said you have the others, and she got like really, really, really sad. And she was like, so you're not thinking the same thing as me right now? And the guy was like, mm-mm. And then she started getting really upset.
Oh no, I feel bad because I really like Anne. She's a really cool character.
I really, really like Anne.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah, I broke her heart.
I'm kind of...
There's no easy way out of this.
I was pretty set on Anne from early on. But Makoto knows Aikido.
Yeah. Do you know that there's a girl in Danganronpa 3 and she's ultimate Aikido student? And she's got you written all over it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Like, you'll probably see her and go, and fucking
that is
pre-order that figure off Ami Ami when it
That is
comes
the
out.
noise I make.
In 2019, that figure will come out and you'll buy it.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
We are what we are.
So where are we with anime? Yakuza 0 is that anime?
Yeah, the anime of the season, Yakuza 0. So another reason, again, I still like. It's annoying because I really want to fucking play more Nier because I play it and I'm like,
But also Persona 5.
I'm like, man, Nier, this is like fucking art, man. This is like video games, and this is doing a bunch of shit only video games can do, and the story is really interesting, and the characters are really cool, and it's like it's all this like super amazing stuff that's like I really appreciate. It's like a really fine meal. It's like the video game version of like the most fucking well cooked like Italian fish thing.
You don't know
Wow,
anything
fish.
about food.
I don't know anything about food, but
Chef's Table.
Yakuza is like just the fucking most greasy, perfect piece of shit burger ever. And it's so good. It's so fucking good. And like,
But like it's going right to your ass.
it's going right to my ass. But you could like, you could go and you could like make a reservation, wait months for the fucking, the magical Italian fish, or you could go down the street and get this fucking greasy ass burger. And Yakuza is so good for that. It's like, if people don't know the Yakuza series, basically what it is, it's spawned from the Shenmue series, and it's pretty much like an open world, I'm going to say crime game, but not like GTA at all. You can't get in cars, there's no guns, it's all like kind of old school hand-to-hand brawling stuff, but then there's all this crazy other stuff you can do. Like, I spent an entire evening just going around the city Kamurocho, and like I went to a bar, I got drunk, I played darts, I played pool, I hung out with this guy and I robbed him for all his money, and like I got in a bunch of fights, and I went to a fast food place. There's a really weird thing where like you can go to, I guess this was a thing in Japan, but like gravure parlors, where like you go into like a booth and watch like, do you know what gravure is?
Yeah, they're kind of like pin-up models.
You can watch like videotapes of gravure models. Except like they're live action, like they're actual real things you watch, and they're the most like tame, unsexy things in the world. But I guess someone likes them, and that's a really weird inclusion.
They're like weird lifestyle videos with like Japanese bikini babes.
Yeah, with like soft music playing, and like it's kind of creepy, honestly. But the game's kind of fucking great. Like, I'm really amazed at how much I like it. I was a fan of Yakuza 3 and 4. I like those games quite a bit. But I found, like, the combat in them was not good. Like, it was fun for a little while, but it was just a lot of you beating up people the same way you have 100 times. In this, you have two separate playable characters, and you had like 4 in Yakuza 4, but their styles weren't really that different or interesting. In this, it's like you have 2 separate characters, and each one of them has their own like fighting style, or they have like 3 versions of a fighting style, and like the way they learn the fighting styles is hilarious, because you'll be walking along the street, and then like Kiryu will see like someone breakdancing, and it'll just zoom in on his face, and the subtitle just comes up, "Holy shit." and then he imagines himself breakdancing, and from that point you can breakdance fight. And
That's how you learn.
that's how you learn. And it's really fun. Like, playing the game is fun, but what you're kind of there for with Yakuza is the cutscenes. And I've been thinking about this a lot, like how to describe them. And I think on the last podcast I said that they're like Metal Gear Solid cutscenes in tone. That's not right. What Yakuza games are like is they're like someone made entire games out of the ending cutscenes from Tekken.
I'm in.
That is the exact feeling. Like, in all the really serious ways and in all the super goofy ways. And they're incredibly well shot, they're incredibly well lit, and they're just fucking deadly. And this is totally like my sleeper of the year. Honestly, like, I downloaded this game from a sale. I was expecting to poke at it for a few hours. It is like pushing me away from Persona 5 and Nier, which I really... You know the way everyone's like, okay, I know Breath of the Wild's really good, but you gotta play Nier. It's like, if you can lift up that Breath of the Wild rock, you'll find Nier underneath. If you lift up that Nier rock, you'll find Yakuza underneath. And it's fucking great. Some of the presentation stuff is a bit weird. Like, this is an old-ass Japanese game. As in, like, it's got old-ass Japanese game design. And sometimes that's really irritating. Like, there are so many different kinds of cutscenes in this thing. Everything from the pretty much just, like, talking heads right up to the super polished, incredible, like, full-motion cutscenes. And they're deadly, but some of the other ones are kind of shitty. And then on top of that as well, it's like some of the just game design's really bad. And the only, like sometimes you get a side quest where someone's like, hey, go get me a beer. And it's like, I'll have to go to the convenience store to get him a beer. And there's one convenience store out of 5 you can get that beer at. And so you have to go around to each store looking for it. And what I'll say is that can be remedied by just having a guide open with you. And I do think this game is better with a guide. Because some of the side quests are just, like, so stupid. Or some of the main quests are just really mundane, and they really just feel like time wasters. And I think if you want to get the most out of that game, just there's a good IGN guide. Just have that open. Just go to the store, get the beer, go back, and keep having a good time. Because they really can bog down the game. And in a way, it's a shame, because I think this is like a 60-hour game. This would be a fucking incredible 15-hour game if they just took out the chaff. But even with that in mind, I 100% recommend this game. It's fucking great, and I've been having a really, really good time with it. That's my Yakuza 0 review.
That's really good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's much better than your Breath of the Wild review. Do you remember that game?
No?
Yeah. Good. No one needs to talk about that game.
No. I'm sure we'll talk about it again at some point.
Yeah, Christmas.
And with that, we are going to move into our Quicktime Events. And so the first item is the last Tropes vs. Women in Video Games came out from Feminist Frequency from Anita Sarkeesian. How many episodes is that all in all?
It was supposed to be broken into 10 sections, but there's more than 10 videos.
Yeah, there's way more. That feels like that has been going on a long time. Obviously, like, I think, obviously she's gotten a lot of flack over the years, and I've always thought that is the really, really fucking stupidest thing. Like, it has been so ridiculous, the hubbub about this series, and, like, all the shit with people threatening her and stuff. And, like, I like that series. I think that's a pretty good series. I'm pretty happy to see a lot of those conversations happening. I understand people don't feel that way, and I understand people disagree with her, but, like, I disagree with Captain Christian. I disagree with Digibro. I don't fucking, like, send them death threats and bullshit like that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, she started her website in 2009, and it was like first just dealing with sci-fi tropes, usually like the Manic Pixie Dream Girl kind of stuff. And
that's such a good video as well, because like I never thought about that.
And the reason she got into the video game stuff is she was asked by Bungie to have a talk there. And she realized, whoa, this shit is pervasive in video games and no one's writing about it, so I'll write about it. And then she did the Kickstarter, and she did not have a fucking clue what floodgate she was opening, because she was doing feminist critique and she was getting kind of minor pushback. But like that, remember that guy who met up the game, like beat up Anita Sarkeesian? It was just, he just punched her in the face.
It was just some shitty Flash game.
Yeah, and like she got death threats, she got rape threats, her family got threats, she had to leave her home, the FBI got involved, there was a bomb scare in the game developers conference because she was talking there. Like, it's just crazy. Like, you can have critique, like with film. There's feminist critique of film, and no one, like, fucking goes mad. Because, like, we can accept that you can critique film that way.
But, like, I just don't really understand it in a way, because, like I constantly hear arguments online that I disagree with, you know? And, like, I'll hear the odd one from Anita Sarkeesian, and I'll be like, like, I don't think that's true. But, like, I don't get where the line is where you're like, okay, I need to make sure this woman feels like that she has to die.
Yeah. I think she was one of the, like, she started her Tropes, like, v women in video games, I think, 2013.
I think even earlier.
Yeah.
It might have been 2012.
Yeah, I think that was when she funded it, and then the first one released it in 2013.
It was a super early Kickstarter, and I think it took, like, over a year for the first one to come out.
I think it was also, like, it was before people knew the deal with Kickstarter, where shit just seems to take forever.
And she got way more money than she was asking for. And I think when you get more money, all of a sudden you have to, like, spend more time upping the production value, but then that eats up into production time, and then deliveries are way over time. So,
and I think as well, there just wasn't a lot of critique of video games done in this vein before. I did my thesis back in 2010 on LGBT representation of video games, and there was nothing. Like, there was no one talking about this stuff, but there's so much content there to talk about. I found, like, 3 different books. One was written by an Irish woman, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good. So, like, I would have killed for Anita Sarkeesian stuff back then, because it's, like, you know, with film, there's so much even written about, like horror film and stuff, and there was just not there, and I think it was just, she was the first person doing it, so all the heat went on her, and people saw it as an attack for some reason, instead of just critiquing media, which is all it is.
Even just, like being someone who, you know, puts stuff out about online stuff, like, I would say the shit I get compared to what she's gotten is probably 0.00001%. And I just went through what I would call a little bit of a rough weekend. I had a video blow up, and it pissed off some people for reasons I still find a little difficult to understand. And that sucked. Like, honestly, that was a shitty weekend. That was not fun. But I can't imagine being in her shoes and getting such an exponentially stronger reaction.
Imagine, John, if someone tweeted a photo of your apartment.
Yeah, I know.
In front of it.
And it's like,
tweeted
honestly,
your parents'
like,
addresses
honestly,
to you.
like, I don't know that I'd still do what I do if that was the reaction I got on a regular basis. Like, I don't really see how someone could withstand that. But, like, you know, in fairness to her, she has, and I think, like, you know, she ended the series, and she did what she said she was going to do. Like, it took her way longer than she said it would do, which means that she's in line with every other Kickstarter in the history of time. And yeah, it's been a super weird thing. I hope.
I think it's a dark moment in video games, and I really hope it's something that we look back on and, like, only feel shame for, you know?
Yep.
Because, like, if we want to treat video games the way we treat every other piece of media, we can talk about them, and it's like, it's not a war, you know?
Yeah, and, like, you don't have to agree with her.
Yeah.
You just, like,
don't have to want to kill her.
Yeah, like,
it's like, that's it.
And, like, the whole idea with video game journalism is that it's moved from consumer reviews to game critiques, and it's usually games that have already been out, and it's like 6 months later, and the cam has happened, and people are going, hang on, there's, like, little bits and pieces in these games that are successful, and some bits that are not as successful.
Yeah, and, like, I also understand the side where, like, it sucks when it sucks hearing someone, like, break down your favorite game from a point you've never considered. I do understand that, but I also think, like, these conversations should happen, and, like, from every direction. Like, I really like hearing counterproductive arguments to, like, a lot of what I think. Like, we talked about H-Bomber Guy's Dark Souls 2 video a while ago, and that was cool, and stuff like this matters as well, because it's like, well, shit, you know, I never, like, when I never heard of Games Talk like this when that video series started. And at the start, I was like, what the fuck? This stuff, you can't break it down like that, because, like, I wasn't familiar with it. But I kind of am now, and, like, I think it has given me, like, a way better understanding of media just in general. Like, not just the feminist freak newsy stuff, but just like looking at gender and looking at the way gender is represented, it's strange how uppity people get about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's in Persona 5, and it's not going to ruin the game for me, but it's something we talk
it's like,
about.
I feel like Anita had to, like, at the start of every video, she had to preface it with, you can enjoy the stuff you critique.
Yeah.
Like, do you think I'd watch a Fast and the Furious and not roll my eyes at a few things, you know? But I can still enjoy it for the schlocky thing it is.
Like, I love JoJo, but some of JoJo is some of the jankiest bullshit ever.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
But, like, that's all part of it.
Mm-hmm. It's like horror films were, like, one of the, I think, the starting points for me getting interested in critique of media.
Yeah.
Because, like, that stuff is so barefaced in that. And when
It's
you
so
see
black
it,
and white,
yeah.
yeah.
It's so black and white. And that's interesting because, like, we're, like, the people who make media are people, you know?
And I also feel like if you're not willing to, like, indulge the faults of your favorite things, how much are you actually looking at it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not taking it in.
Jim Sterling's been doing a fucking hilarious bit recently where he calls himself the only Nintendo fan. Have you guys seen that?
Is he like a Nintendo apologist?
No, he's like, no one is... I love Nintendo so much that I'm willing to call them on their bullshit, meaning I'm the world's only Nintendo fan. And there's really something to that, I think.
Mm-hmm. People defend all the bullshit Nintendo pull.
I think you can, like, critiquing media is... The goal of that is to make it better.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only goal.
Yeah, because otherwise you just get the same games every year.
Yeah. It's like, and it's not going to magically delete those games from your consciousness.
This is the other side of it as well, though. Like, people are terrified they're going to lose their titty games, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you know, Bryan has a soft spot for, Senran
Kagura.
Senran Kagura. I own every Dead or Alive game. Like, we like those games.
They're not going anywhere, don't worry.
They're not going... You're never going to lose your shitty little fucking titty video game. It's going to be fine. But that doesn't mean, like, there can't be, like, good conversations about this, too.
And it can't be like it doesn't mean that there can't be other games that deal with other things.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
A Life is Strange isn't going to mean, oh, well, shit, they put money into Life is Strange. That means if they didn't put money into, like, Tipmaster 3. So, like...
Oh, man, not Tipmaster 3.
Team Ninja are developing Life is Strange 2.
So it's like... Different games can be made. They're not going to stop the other games being made.
Yeah, totally.
Which do you want to go into this the third article, because that actually relates to it? Kind of like, it's fucking, what the fuck is this? A 3-man indie team forced to change game's name.
Oh yeah, okay.
Prey for the Gods, but it's prey as in like hunting prey, because of that new first-person shooter, Prey, that just came out. So
Prey for the Gods is developed by No Matter Studios, and I think it's a really small team, and they were sent a copyright claim infringement for their title of Prey in the name. It was a Kickstarter game from the people who make Prey, the game that is out now.
Yeah.
Which...
It's a big AAA shooter.
Yeah, a big AAA shooter.
I think it's a, like, horror thing. It sounds pretty good, actually, but totally beside the point.
But yeah, it's bullying.
Yeah.
To be honest, this is just the same conversation that happens every time this shit comes up, where it's like, copyright laws are super fucking broken, and they have to defend their copyright claim, or they'll have a weaker stance to take it next time, which is total bullshit. But it's the same with the scrolls thing, it's the same with the edge thing, and I hate it because it always happens and there's never a good explanation. But it's like, that's the kind of... I understand why it happens.
I like understanding why it happens and kind of agreeing with it are two separate things, because like it's is this Bethesda's game? I think the Prey.
I think so.
It just sucks to go after a small studio and get them to change their name that way. Like, I get, like, you need to protect your copyright, but...
Just because the games are both at the same time, and on Steam, the word Prey will have both of them in the search engine.
It's like...
Did you hear that thing?
Do you need to go after it, really?
New Prey deletes the old Prey from your Steam library.
What? Old Prey is great as well. I love that game.
It's just the kind of fucking thing you... Anyway. Yeah, because they're both called Prey. You can only have one game called the same thing in your Steam library.
I don't know why they didn't call it Prey something else, like Prey 2 or Prey...
Pray for the Gods. Oh, shit.
Like, just give it a subtitle.
Prey, guns loaded.
Yeah. Quick. So, Atlas issues an apology about the implication of threats, but doesn't actually rescind anything to do with the threats.
This is for streaming Persona 5.
This is kind of maddening, this story, because
Yeah.
they're after coming out and saying, first they came out and they're like, you know, don't fucking stream shit. And then they came out a couple of weeks later, this was last week, I think, and they were like, hey, listen everyone, we're sorry about, you know, if it seemed like we were threatening you guys. And everyone was like, oh, cool, no problem, Atlas. So we're going to be able to stream shit stuff now. And they were like, fuck no.
So, like, can you stream a bit more of it?
No, it's the exact same rules.
They're just a bit sorrier about it.
They're just,
I thought you could stream a bit further into the game.
nope, exact same.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
So, like,
It's really annoying whenever I get a trophy because it says you can't screenshot it.
yeah.
It's lame because, like, the screenshot function is the best part of the PS4.
Yeah.
It sucks that you can't use it.
I've screenshotted so many sexy men in Yakuza. There's some fucking sexy ass men in Yakuza, let me tell you.
Like some nice beefcakes.
Oh, like you would not believe. That was Bryan. Bryan made that noise.
That was Sean.
Yeah,
Sean
wow.
made that noise with his butt.
Oh, yeah.
This is why.
That was
this
Niamh.
is why whenever I like even get a little bit fucking saucy on this podcast, I regret it.
Because I'll always outsauce you.
Because you'll always fucking jump on it and just.
John's sexualizing something. Get him. Like that. Did you guys know that Super Eye Patch Wolf has like a fetish? And
Oh my god, Bryan.
I'm just gonna make a video. It's only 20 minutes long, but please watch the whole thing. I'm gonna tweet it at you. Please watch my video. Do you like getting those tweets, John?
No. Do you know, that happens actually quite a lot. Someone's like, hey, I wrote an article about how you're shit. Maybe you should read it. And then I write back, I'm not going to read that. And then they write back, oh, come on.
Please. I wrote it about you.
So what? Oh, Bob Ross appears as a skin in SMITE.
What the fuck is SMITE?
So SMITE is like it's another MOBA. It's like Heroes of the Storm. Yeah, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Heroes of Steam.
Heroes of Steam. Yeah. And Bob
Steam
Ross
MOBA.
is a skin in it. And so I think there's two things to this. First of all, like Bob Ross was streamed constantly on Twitch for a while. I thought that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
What a great way to bring a great personality and a great TV show to just like a whole generation of people. That's fucking class. I think this is kind of creepy and gross.
I think it's really gross. It's like the Twitch streaming thing was people like can enjoy Bob Ross and people like a little community gathered round and there was like loads of stories about how it helped loads of people. This is like a company basically leveraging the Bob Ross meme for capital gain. Like, you know, he's not like, what the fuck? Why is he in SMITE? Like, what the fuck is that?
I think like we were talking about this a little earlier and I was saying how EA used Bruce Lee in one of their UFC titles, which I think that treaded the line a little bit. I think that still feels a little weird because he's dead.
Yeah.
I know he can't give his okay to it or not, but at the same time, Bruce Lee was a martial artist, and I would imagine that, you know, if Bruce Lee was around now, he'd probably be pretty into UFC kind of shit. Like he'd be too old to compete, but I'm sure he'd be part of that scene. But Bob Ross would have no concept of what a MOBA is.
Yeah.
And so it feels really disingenuous and really, it just feels lame. Like it's like taking this really magical internet thing that happened where Bob Ross blew up again on Twitch and turning it into this weird, horrible capitalist thing.
It's €10.
Are you fucking serious?
It's part of a pack. Yeah, you get a whole pile of Bob Ross skins and shit.
It's fucking epic, bro.
$1 for our USA brethren.
10 bones, as they call it on the streets of dusty LA.
10 Snoopies, as they're called in New York.
Yeah, Snoopies.
What?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
In America, $1 is referred to as a different thing in every state.
Yeah, so in Florida they're called oranges, and in Texas it's called a gun. So it's like, love, it's like, how much for this gun? And they're like, that's 15 guns. And they go, okay. Like, that's how... What? I'm saying this with complete confidence. I know what goes on in America. Like, there's a load
It's true.
of...
When I was in Washington, they called them Windy Susans.
Yeah. And like, in
I don't even know if you're lying anymore.
Ohio, they call it nothing because they got nothing in Ohio.
To our American listeners, please write to us and let us know what the dollar is referred to in your state. We already know a bunch of them, as you can tell, but we'd be curious to hear more.
In Hawaii, it's the coconut.
Moving on. Ed in Street Fighter V. Did you guys see this at all?
Ed from work.
Brian's boss is also called Ed.
Yeah,
go on. You took the joke.
Is he in Street Fighter V?
Yeah, he is.
That's fucking class. Congrats, Ed.
Man, like from lead comper to fighting game character in one fell swoop.
Fuck yeah.
So Ed was like he's this weird child that Balrog found in one of the endings in I think Street Fighter 4.
Child. Is he like a man baby?
No, that was in Street Fighter 4. Now it's Street Fighter 5.
Raisin?
Yes. And so he's like this weird combination. He's magic. He's got psycho power.
But like, is this Balrog as in the boxer?
Yes.
Okay, alright. Just making sure it's not. Okay.
But he also looks like M. Bison.
Okay.
So like, it's the kind of same shit with a lot of the Street Fighter 4 DLC. His gameplay looks awesome. He looks so fun to play. His design, he looks like a muscly blonde boy with boxing gloves on.
Sorry, I gotta look at this fucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's check him out.
Live research.
Which? Is that him?
That's what he used to look like.
Okay.
With the hoodie?
The white hoodie.
I like that design. This is what he looks like now.
Yeah, he looks like M. Bison's son.
He roided the fuck up.
But he also kind of looks a bit like Cammy, like he's got
the little cap.
Yeah, he looks a bit like a shitty Jotaro.
Reactions to him are pretty mixed. Like, I don't like him very much. I would have liked this skinny little fucker. I would have really liked that. I'd like someone really tricky. But he's kind of just another boxer, and I'm sure it'll be fun to play as.
His face is fucking stupid.
Street Fighter 5, baby.
Yeah, he looks like he's doing a poo.
Yeah.
I like his little hat, though.
You like that hat?
No, it's about to...
It serves zero function as blocking out the sun. The peak on that cap is way too minuscule.
Neither Cammy's hat, the best thing in the world.
I just kind of like that it's there. It's like the only part of the design that's interesting.
It makes me really sad.
And it's from another character.
Yeah.
It makes me really sad that it's 2017 and I play more Overwatch than I do Street Fighter.
Blizzard got you.
It's a better game.
Yeah. In several ways it is. That makes me sad. I'm going to not talk for about 2 minutes now.
Guilty Gear's pretty cool, bro.
Fucking Biking's back soon. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that comes out in like a month.
I'm excited. And I didn't know about this. A new Assassin's Creed leaks.
Yeah, there was a Reddit thread where someone put up a screenshot.
And what era?
Egypt, but it's a prequel. So it's called Assassin's Creed.
They're all prequels.
Origins.
Is it what?
Yeah, Origins.
Oh my god.
Remember when video games had cool titles?
What's the coolest title you can think of?
Assassin's Creed to safety.
That's pretty good. Okay, what's the coolest actual video game title you can think of?
Okay, Assassin's Creed.
He means real,
real ones.
An actual real title.
When Bryan gets on like an imagination tear, it's so hard to get him off.
What like Assassin's Creed Nazi Agenda? And you're playing as like...
Oh my god, Bryan. I mean real video games.
Yeah, no, and this is one of Desmond's relatives that he's not proud of. And it's like, there was this kind of one uncle, and, you know, he was just... Look, he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, no, Desmond, no, don't go back to him. You're not going to like what you see.
Like, I'm real worried about finding out my history. And finding out that like 200 years ago, whoever that was like the biggest asshole ever, and like fucked over a load of people out of there like mud hut.
Oh my god, what?
No, we used to live in huts back then.
That's true. Vikings apparently is where I come from. Okay, before we move into emails, I have a quick question for you guys. What are games out this year that you have not played that you want to?
Nier for sure.
Nier, yeah. Yakuza.
Maybe Yakuza.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, Horizon for sure.
Yeah, Horizon. I'd love to give it a shot. I really want to play. I want to try Neo as well. I just kind of want to poke at Neo and see what's up there. I also... Have you guys seen this game, Little Nightmares?
Yeah.
That game looks fucking cool, and apparently it's like 3 hours long.
Oh, that's a nice length.
Also, there's one we all have to play. the fuck. It's the FMV game.
Oh, Night Shift,
Night
Late
Shift.
Shift. Yeah.
I've seen some clips from that.
I really want to play that.
We gotta play that.
I want to play Kona as well.
Kona?
It's like or Kona, Kona. It's like I think it's only like a 5-hour kind of mystery game as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it here. Oh, cool.
Is that an FMV game too?
It's not an FMV. No, it's like
but
Oh, it just looks nice.
yeah, it's really pretty. It's a €20 on PS4.
sweet.
Cool.
Like I do really want to play ukulele at some point later in the year.
Did you see H Bomber Guy's review of that?
Yeah, it was really
Yeah,
really
he
good.
really was into it.
He made some good points.
Mm-hmm.
There's something else like I really also want to play. Like okay, yeah, like new Mario for sure. But then like what the fuck's gonna happen at E3 this year?
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be my loot drop, so I'll hold it until then. But there's a certain game at E3 this year that I hope they go into detail finally on.
I have no idea what that.
Okay.
Wait.
But yeah, like I kind of feel like the way I am now between Persona 5, Yakuza, and Nier, like those three could potentially carry me to the end of the year, and I kind of just want to sprinkle on like a bunch of small ones. I was talking to our friend Young Waltz recently, and he was saying that Gravity Rush 2 is really worth checking out.
Oh,
Is that long?
I think it's about 12 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
that's
Not
good.
too bad. Not too bad.
It's like loads of like 50+ hour games kind of came out all in one go.
yeah.
There's
Sure
a
did.
Fire Emblem out in like 2 weeks as well, or maybe like 3 weeks.
A new one?
Another fucking Fire Emblem.
Oh, is this the remake of the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On 3DS.
Will
I
that have
can-
waifu like stuff, or is it just a pure remake?
I don't know.
I'm interested to see what that is.
I probably won't buy it day one, but I'm gonna wait until like there's like a kind of like straightforward. Should I buy this if I'm busy? Review
Yeah.
because I'm busy.
I'd really like that for the Switch.
Yes, I'd like a virtual console for the Switch as well.
Yeah. That would be nice. Okay, we are going to move on into emails. Okay, who we got?
All right, this one is from our boy.
Oh, let's leave that one till the end.
Okay, well then, do we do our boy Justin?
Yeah, let's do Justin.
Okay, now Justin, aka Justin Jungles, I know who you are. I see you commenting on the YouTube videos all the time,
Are
buddy.
the comments sassy or are they pleasant?
Both. I love Justin Jungles. I'm so glad you finally emailed us, buddy.
Okay, well, that sounds like too much sass for me. So, Justin, while Bryan likes you, I have my eyes firmly on you.
Well,
And you put one fucking foot out of line.
Justin likes Final Fantasy X. I like Justin a lot.
Justin
Strike one, motherfucker.
Justin has addressed his email to me.
Okay.
Because you asked everyone to address you in the email.
How are you doing, Bryan? I'm doing much better now, Justin. Thank you so much. I'm a huge fan from Chicago. Whoa, the Windy City, bro. I was wondering if
Did he write that or was that you?
That's me. I was wondering if you guys have ever experienced the Tetris effect after playing a game so much. The Tetris effect is when you spend so much time playing a game, it begins to pattern your thoughts, mental images, and dreams. For example, when I was younger, I had recurring nightmares where I was stuck in the beginning of World 1-2 Super Mario Bros. I had a nightmare where I was stuck in the sphere grid of Final Fantasy X.
Oh, good lord.
And while awake, would hear the bike theme from Pokemon when no one around is playing Pokemon. Yours sincerely, Justin Jungles.
I had the Pokemon thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
One holiday, I got Pokemon Gold, or I think it was Gold, and I played it so much that like I'd hear the music everywhere, and it was really irritating.
For me, it was, you know, the owl in Ocarina of Time, but he had his own music, but it was like this real kind of charming music.
Yeah.
But years later, that music popped into my head one day and wouldn't leave my head, and I was like, what's that from? Because, like, that game is super iconic, but that's like a tiny bit of that game.
Yeah.
But I was like, why do I know all the notes to this? Why is this playing in my head? What's this from? And it took another, like, 2 months for me to,
Jesus.
solve it. And this is pre-internet. Like, this was, like, in the early
Although
2000s.
when a song like that pops into your head, there's no way of searching for it.
Yeah, so, like, what I had to do was, one evening I was in my bedroom and I had to sing it out loud to myself. And then I was like, oh, I think I know what it is now. But it was so fucking, it was such a pain in the ass. But that's not really like a Tetris effect, but that is, I guess, something.
In terms of the Tetris effect, I got it so strong one particular time. My friends had I think GTA San Andreas had just come out, and my friend had just bought it over, and we were stuck on this mission where we needed to find a van to rob a house, and you have to find, I think, a particular van with a big boot or something like that, and we spent 2 hours and we could not find one. We were probably just looking in the wrong place or something. And it was so frustrating, and we really wanted to do it because, when you're a teenager and you have limited time at the weekend to hang out with your friends, you want to do as much as you can. And so after a while, we took a break and we went to the shop, and a van drove by me, and I was like, "Oh, fucking there!" And then I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, that's a real van.
Yeah, it was really weird.
At the moment, I'm playing Persona 5, and there's a lot of just managing expectations from reliable people in that, and that's incredibly satisfying. But when you try to do it to your real life situation, you can't.
Elaborate on that, Bryan.
Just especially with all the confidant stuff, you can really kind of see which way you lead a question will end up more positively than other ones.
Yeah.
And you know how sometimes you have that sarcastic option in your head and you pick it, but you know not to. But I'm making dialogue options in my head now, which I used to do as much.
That's interesting.
Where I'm pausing for a sec and I'm which one do I pick here? Do I lose my temper now, or do I
I've noticed that with Mass Effect as well.
Yeah.
Because before I used to kind of just go with the flow and kind of answer what I thought the character would answer.
But now it's a strategy of conversation.
Yeah, it's just how is the game going to play this out? How is that going to flow with the character I'm saying it to? And you're kind of debating it more, and that nearly takes you out of it a little as well.
Yeah, because with Persona 5, I'm trying to get I'm trying to be as efficient with my time as possible. So I'm trying to make them as happy as I can and as accommodating. And sometimes they'll say something stupid and there's a sarcastic option, but I'm not picking it. Whereas I would, because I want to get a reaction out of them. But now I'm kind of doing that in real life as well. And I like to be sarcastic.
I think Persona makes me better at managing time. Because sometimes they'll be like, "No, if you do that, you'll be too tired." And then I'll be like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of that game, time management.
I really hate that aspect of that game.
That's kind of the entire game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I hate time management in games like Dead Rising. Drives me nuts.
That time management is fucking amazing. That is, again, that is that game.
Time management is not fun. I'm not good with time management.
Did you get anything out of Dead Rising? Because you know when you play the first one 3 times in a row? Did you
in terms of the Tetris effect?
Yeah.
Not really. That was just a weird emotional cage I put myself in for a week.
Yeah, because
I just did nothing but play that game.
Yeah, because for me that was Breath of the Wild, where I was it was pure escapism, but it wasn't anything like when I was back in reality, I was wanting to go back there.
I think in situations like that, it's the fantasy is nearly feels further away. You know what I mean?
But then it's not coming into your daily problem solving. Or just routine.
What about you and the Tetris effect? Niamh, you got anything else?
The only time it happens is grid-based games like Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, Disgaea and stuff, when you can close your eyes and you can see the grid and you're trying, you start mapping out the moves you could possibly make. So that happens a lot, but it's only ever with grid-based games, not and with the sphere grid as well. So,
and so how would you? Is it just that you can see it when you close your eyes?
Yeah, see it and just imagine it, picture it, and kind of close your eyes, and you can, even with it started happening with Fire Emblem on mobile. It's I can see the maps now and see the moves when you close your eyes, kind of thing. And I don't know if it's just burned into my eyes at this stage. But yeah, it doesn't happen to me that regular with actually Tetris and with chess as well. But I think that's more planning moves rather than it being stuck there.
But the way those movements and the strategy, it's so neatly packed, is also very, very satisfying.
Yeah.
Because it means everything has its right place.
Yeah, so I it doesn't seem invasive or intrusive. It's kind of it's very neat, and nice to look at.
I guess it's not really Tetris effect, but when I started sparring, I'd see moves in Tekken, and I'd be like, I wonder would that work? And I try it. And every time I get my fucking head caved in.
There's a guy on YouTube who goes through all the moves in Tekken, in real life. He's really good to watch.
Is that Jack's Blade?
No, but Jack Spade is cool as well. I love that guy.
I chat with it. He likes the weightlifting anime I like. Manga.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he did a video about it and I tweeted him being like, I'm so glad someone else likes this.
He really likes Korra and did like a whole workup program like based on Legend of Korra, and I was just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We'll get into this.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question, Justin.
Yeah, my boy Justin.
I'm watching you.
Justin, you're fine. I'm here to protect you. All right, so we got 2 more. We got this shameful one here from Squash.
That's we should do that last.
You really, really want to do that one last?
Definitely.
Okay.
We're not going to want to do any more after that.
Okay, well then we've got Kyle. All right.
Will I read this one?
Sure.
This is from Kyle K. I'm soon to be a senior of high school who lives in the scrotum of the US, Florida. Kyle, could you write us back in and tell us what Floridians call dollars? We'd be really
They
interested.
call it oranges.
Oranges? Is that it? Okay, yeah.
But not to be confused with Californian oranges.
Okay, what do Californians call it?
They call them Hollywoods.
Okay. And I would like some advice, as I am a fairly indecisive person and college seems to be a decent clusterfuck of choices back to back. I have many things I may want to do, however, with my inherently well-rounded and undefined person, I lack any pure type of talent or unique traits, and the few things I have an interest in lack stability in the job market. One thing that piqued my interest was working as someone in advertising or as someone who gives reviews, critiques on media. Even so, working on the front lines of industry work seems to be a bit unpredictable, and I was wondering if you thought of these specific scenarios when trying to find work as artists. P.S. Thanks for the recommendation on Gantz. I binged legally, and legally is in quotation marks, reading in 3 days. I'm glad he did it legally.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah, I didn't do it legally, Kyle.
Bryan! I think that's a really interesting question. So I think just you sound like you are definitely on the road to college.
Yeah,
and
I love his email. I'm not going to read it out, but his email is fucking brilliant. You can see this?
Yeah, his header.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I can't believe that wasn't taken.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That's nice.
So we're gonna answer this under the caveat that you are set on going to college and that you want to know what to do in college. Because I know, like, in Ireland, college it's not free, but it's pretty fucking cheap compared to like the US. And I know you guys, like, you have to pay a lot of money to go to college, and that's its own separate thing. But we're gonna just say that you're definitely going to college. Which way should you go if you're not going? And I would say the answer to that is it doesn't matter that much if you don't know what you want to do. Don't worry about it too much, because kind of college is college, and so many people end up not doing careers in the things they go to college for. Like, a lot do, but a lot don't as well. Like, how many philosophy majors go on to become philosophers? And I don't think that means that you're never going to get a job. It just means you need more time to figure it out. And I think, like, you should take time to figure that stuff out.
No job is stable right now.
Nothing.
Like, everything is switched to contract base and, like, less hours. So I think picking something with stability in mind isn't really a good idea.
And also, like, is stability what you really want as well?
Yeah.
Like,
especially in your 20s and 30s, you're going to want to have, like, what ifs. I think if you're just bored, if you're safe, it's not as satisfying.
Like, Kyle, you sound pretty young, and the one thing about, like, super young people, like, when I say young, I mean 17 or 18, you can't possibly comprehend how much time you have to fuck up. Like, it's insane. You could basically ruin your life 10 times over and still come out of it fine. It's true.
Yeah. And I think just, like, I don't know about you guys, but, like, everyone who goes into art are told loads that, like, this job is no stability. You'll make no money. And people continuously go into art and do it anyway because, like, you love it, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
But, so I know you were saying you don't have particularly anything you love. What I'm trying to get at is don't worry about the stability aspect. Try and focus on something you like.
Yeah, and, like, you know, even, like, I had a friend and he went and he did archaeology in college, and he did, like, 6 years of archaeology, and then he worked for, like, a year, and then like, he decided he didn't want to do archaeology, and he became an English teacher for, like, 2 years, And then he was like, "Hey John, I'm gonna go become a doctor." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, kiddo, because you're fucking stupid. No, you won't." And now he's like a fucking doctor, and it's like he showed me, and it's never really too late to switch track with that stuff, you know. And I think what I would really encourage is whatever you do in college, that's one thing, but always try and cultivate your interests. Like if you're interested in painting, just do a little painting every evening, or like at least once a week, or just make sure you have that creative outlet, because like as it did with me, sometimes that creative outlet can turn into like an actual career, but there's no college course you can take for it. Like you mentioned how you'd like to review or critique media. You don't need to go to college for that. I've never done any fucking journalism or anything like that, and that is just something you can get good at by yourself. And I think,
but do learn about like semiotics.
Yeah, like, I mean, learn about this stuff, but you don't need to go to college for it.
Yeah, you don't, like so much, like, I don't think you need to go to college to be an animator.
You totally don't. Like, I always think about...
so many good books and just YouTube.
Who do you think's going to get a job, like, quicker? The person who goes to your average-ass animation college for 4 years, or the person who spends 4 years doing 3D Max tutorials off YouTube? Mm-hmm. It's the 3D Max tutorial. Like, you will get a job so much easier, because... you'll be a specialist, and animation colleges teach you to be a generalist.
Like, I recently learned how to solder from YouTube, and I used it for a job. It's like there's a lot of stuff you can do through the internet for free as well. So if you take a course on and you're still interested in doing kind of game journalism and media, just start writing and start reading about it, and
do what you like. And it sounds like a really simple thing, but a lot of people just don't,
Yeah, just be sure to be sound.
That's the biggest thing.
That's another thing as well. Don't be an asshole, because like we've seen assholes get fired for being assholes a bunch of times,
and blacklisted for being assholes.
Oh, totally. And like not one person, like loads of different people. Like learning to be respectful of people and learning to be good to work with is just as important.
Mm-hmm. Being nice to work with is the most valuable thing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, like usually when you get hired for a job, there's the social aspect, and is that person all right? And if you get you're like, oh no.
Yeah, and like I've totally given that answer a bunch of times, where like someone has an attitude. What's this person like to work with? And I'm like, they're good at what they do, and it's like automatically.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess. Don't stress about so much what you should do in college, because like that's still such an early part of your career. But I would say, figure out what you're interested in and pursue it. And if you don't know, like my advice there, just fucking try everything. Just try a bit of everything. And like, if you try everything for long enough, something will stick. You will find something that you are significantly better at than most of the population. Like guaranteed. That's just evolution. That's how people work.
Yeah.
Niamh, why don't you take this next question?
Yeah.
Finally.
So this is from Squash.
I love you.
I don't know if this has been asked before, but it needs to be asked. Who are each of your guys' OTPs? I love your podcast, by the way. I listen to it while drawing a lot.
Aww. We would love to see your drawing, Squash.
Yes, please. Squash us a drawing.
So...
Okay, so my current OTP.
Yeah, who's your current OTP?
My favorite game, Bloodborne. It's the female hunter and the doll.
Once you told me that pairing, I was just like vastly more interested in playing Bloodborne, because that's an amazing pairing.
So I didn't know about this pairing until I saw the fan art, and I was like, oh my god, there's so much potential for this. So the female hunter, she so for me, whenever I play Bloodborne, I always play as a female hunter, and I have like a certain get up with her outfit and weapon setting.
Because you can kind of wear whatever in Bloodborne.
Yeah, you can. It doesn't make a difference, to be honest. But she looks fucking cool. But then the doll is the one who levels you up. But in the DLC, the doll, you get to fight who she was before she was a doll, and that is Lady Maria of the Astral Clock Tower.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Wow, that's so cool.
And so there's this whole kind of thing where like you're fighting her, but then when she's the doll, she's healing you, and it's this tragic relationship.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and the fan art, because like Bloodborne has this beautiful like art direction to it, the fan art mirrors it, so you just get these really, really delicate, crafted drawings, and I love it. That's my OTP.
My current OTP, and I have a lot, is Pharmacy from Overwatch. So that's Farah and Mercy. I love them as a pairing. They're great in game, and I just think they're cute.
Is there any dialogue to support this?
There was a line in it that was taken out. Like Mercy says, keep the skies clear for me. And Farah used to respond. I can't remember what the line was, but they were removed. So no more. But that's my current big ship. But I have a fucking laundry list.
Take us down the list, Niamh.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually wrote them out because I thought I might forget some. And a lot of these are gay, obviously. But Korra and Asami from the Legend.
Legend of Korra.
Legend of Korra.
I love their friendship and how, in season 1, Korra does not like her.
Yeah.
And then you realize, hey, they're getting along. And then you're like, oh, hold on.
It's really cute as well because, Korra, hurts herself really badly. And she can't bear to be weak in front of all these people she's been strong and cocky in front of. So she starts writing letters to Asami. And it's kind of their romance kind of happens through just writing to each other. That's really sweet. One of my big ones when I was a teenager was Riku and Pain from Final Fantasy X too.
Sure.
It's quality stuff. Lily and Asuka from Tekken.
You said that to me the other day. That's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's great. Shepard and Liara from Mass Effect. It's good content. I have some straight ships as well, Tidus and Yuna. I just love them together. I think they're super cute. Squall and Renoa.
These are Square approved ships.
Yeah, they're Square approved, but I'm on board.
For me,
Ada Wong and Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil.
They definitely slept together.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Basically, if two women stand and breathe or kind of look at each other, they're shipping, that's I'm shipping it. It's great. What about you, John?
This is okay.
John doesn't know how to love.
That's true. So, okay. Could you two walk me through the act of shipping something?
Well, you get two interesting characters, and then you go, these are even more interesting if they're together.
And that second part, is that something that just naturally happens for you?
Well, okay.
Well, sometimes it kind of catches you off guard, and then you go, oh, I like this.
I think that shipping might be different for LGBT people as well. So if you're watching something and you never see any romance that mirrors what you're interested in, none, the only gay character I saw growing up was Willow on Buffy. That was it. You start to kind of ship characters together because that's the content you're looking for.
Oh, I totally understand that because it's not there or at least obvious. So you're going to fucking find it, if not create it. But then I know a lot of straight people ship stuff too.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's to answer your first question. I don't know why
because with me and shipping, I know whatever it is in people that makes people ship stuff, it's just not really in me. I'll think, you mentioned Lily and Asuka, and I'm yeah, that's cool. But I'm not going to think about it, and it's never going to occur to me.
Oh.
I guess, with the Lily and Asuka as well, that's a trope. In anime, there's the, rich girl who's got her, short-haired boyfriend, girlfriend, protector girl. That is true all Yuri manga.
Yeah.
That's there. So you kind of start to see that mirrored in other stuff, and then you're oh, Lily and Asuka, and then they pair them up in Tekken as well, and they kind of have this kind of fighting
they were a tag
thing.
in Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
Yeah, and they have a load of cutscenes together and shit, and it's kind of this kind of is it there? It's kind of a slow point towards it. So then the fan artists and fan fiction people fill in the blanks.
Wait. In Street Fighter, you've got Makoto and Ibuki, and they're kind of they're very close.
They don't like each other at all.
That's plenty of material there.
Yeah,
sure.
I love that whole enemies to lovers.
In One Piece, Zoro and Sanji hate each other, but the yaoi community is that's it.
Yeah. That's weird because I love Makoto and I love Ibuki, but that's the prime example where that thought never even crossed my mind.
It's,
Why don't you think about their love lives, John?
He doesn't know how to love.
Yeah.
He's full of hate.
I just don't think about it.
But love is so important to you specifically. Like, you were really interested in, like, romance stuff, and, like, you've talked before that, like...
I think you think I'm more interested in romance than I am.
Like, how about,
well,
like...
you feel it on a deeper level. Like, we've come out of, like a silent voice, and you're like, I cannot talk. Like, you needed a moment.
Okay. How about, like, an Earthbound? Now, I know Ness and Paula are very young, but...
Fucking no!
But
no!
But do you think, like...
No,
maybe,
I don't.
Maybe someday they'll grow up and they'll be a mom and dad
No,
together?
they're fucking children with not... No!
I know, but do you, like, imagine their lives?
No, I don't.
Aw.
I just
I think they can make a sweet
Like,
family.
I think any... The closest I get to this stuff is, like, weird stuff that no one needs to know about that goes into other stuff.
Oh, yeah, your
I
weird
instantly
folder.
regret this fucking sentence.
So you just see these characters as, like, porn fodder for you, where me and Bryan see them as developed people who could have relationships and love.
I think you are... I think that's
Right?
so mean.
Especially me. How about Gon and Klua?
Well, I
Oh, Leorio and Paprika.
Paprika.
Yeah. Paprika and Lolo.
Well, like, I think Gon and Klua is, like, super fucking interesting because, like, there's, like, a whole, like, episode dedicated to Klua being like, holy shit, oh my god! And I thought that was just, like, a really incredibly done episode, and, like, I guess, yeah. But with that, like, even though it wasn't, like, out and out, like, presented to the viewer, I thought the way it was presented was really fucking interesting, and just, I really appreciated it on that level. But I don't, like, draw Gon and Klua making out or anything.
Do you kind of prefer when the narrative, like, has a, like, it's canon?
Yeah, I guess I'm more likely to notice it then because, like, you know...
Did you like Homer and Marge as a couple?
I never think about them as a couple.
What?
Oh.
They have such an interesting marriage.
Yeah, and there are some good Homer and Marge episodes of The Simpsons.
Yeah, I really didn't like the movie because I thought Homer was genuinely a bit mean to Marge, and I don't think Homer's mean to Marge generally, and I think they really love each other.
He is now. He's a dickhead.
Really?
Yeah,
That's awful.
Since season 10, he's a dickhead, and I thought the way they handled it in the movie was that, like, that video that Marge gives to Homer, where she's calling him out on it, and, like, at the start of the movie, Homer's a dickhead because he's doing all the Spider Pig shit. But at the end, that's actually, like, early season Homer trying. Because before he was, like, a goof that loved his family, but now he's a goof that, like, hurts his family. But that's a whole other thing.
Maybe you just don't think about the characters to, like, in a larger extent.
For a guy who does video essays about cartoon characters.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that at all.
I just like ragging on you.
Yeah, same.
It's really funny.
Yeah, like, it's honestly, it's something I wish I could figure out a bit more. Like, because people have asked me before on Twitter, who's your OTP? And I'm like, I don't fucking know.
The two boys from My Hero Academia.
Who's a character you would like to see happy, and you know that maybe romance would make them happy?
John Walsh.
You have me. You have Niamh to a lesser extent. You know?
To a far lesser extent, Niamh, yes.
Yeah.
We're someone's OT3.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
don't fucking start. Like,
Uh-oh.
oh, that's like...
Send in your
No,
fan
no.
Yeah.
All of us snuggling under the bed. Hot chocolate. Whose foot is that? I don't know, but it feels nice.
I want to give this person an answer because...
Yeah, come on, Squash.
So, like, okay. So, in terms of, like, ones that, like, have briefly flashed in my mind, I'm sorry for how fucking lame these are. I'm not good at this.
Mickey and Goofy.
It's Mickey and Riku from Kingdom Hearts.
I want to throw Sora in there. Okay, I think Trish and Jolene from JoJo's would be kind of cute. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's a good pairing.
That's a good one. Get
They've
ready
never met,
because
but,
it's all fucking
Yeah.
downhill from here. I do really like the Asuka and Lily one. I think that
That's
works.
a good ship.
Yeah.
How about Shinji Ikari?
I don't ship him.
I know, but who would make him happy?
Fucking probably the white-haired boy Kaoru.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, but that's in the show. Like that, like a whole that. Like I fucking love that episode where it's like, you know, Shinji and like he's kind of uncomfortable, but they're also super intimate. I thought that was fucking awesome, and I didn't like 3.0 because I felt like it kind of.
It panders.
I don't think it pandered. I think it was just a different version of that relationship, and I know for as much as I didn't get anything out of it, I know a lot of people did, so I think it's still valuable.
There was a lot of closure for people.
Yeah.
Even though,
A lot of
it still
closure
ends the
and
same.
acknowledgement.
Yeah.
But You know, it happens with Street Fighter characters a lot. That is the one thing where I'm like, I wonder would these two characters date? And I don't know why, but it'll happen to me a lot with Street Fighter characters.
Yeah, it's thin. You're shipping.
I guess maybe I think Mika and Ryu would be fine.
Or Mika and Ryu would have great fighting sex.
I feel like Ryu would be just kind of annoyed by Ormika.
Oh yeah, but like that. But like he's never not annoyed, and like that bedroom is ruined. Like the bed is fucking smashed.
Guys, Ormika's so strong.
But what about Ken and Ryu?
Yeah, I could see that. More like, do you ever see?
Like
I don't want to start giving my deep-seated theories on the Street Fighter animated movies, but there's some shit in there. Let me tell you.
Like, you know how they'd be training in the waterfall, and Ken would look at Ryu, but then look away.
Oh, there's a cutscene in Street Fighter. Why is it all Street Fighter? There's a cutscene in Street Fighter 5 where Juri and Cammy ride off together on a motorbike.
That is perfect shipping potential. That's all you need.
That's the ammunition. You just got to pull that trigger.
Squash, I hope that answers your question. I feel so uncomfortable.
Squash, thank you so much for that email.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
A really good email.
It was a very, very tender and intimate email.
Feel free to let us know your ships, guys. Please don't make it us.
Please make it us.
No, Bryan, you don't know what you're doing here.
I'd love to see some Let's Fight a Boss. Yeah,
No. If we get one fucking piece of art, I'm shutting down this podcast.
That's asklet'sfightaboss@gmail.com. We have a Twitter, Let's Fight a Boss. We have a Facebook. Grandma uses Facebook. Grandma, you fucking go on that like page and you like Let's Fight a Boss.
Ask Let's Fight a Boss at Gmail on Twitter. Or on Gmail. I'm all flustered now.
Yeah.
Ask Let's Fight a Boss at gmail.com. Please send us everything that is not to do with anything we've spoken about in the last 20 minutes.
Thank you, please. We have an Instagram called Let's Fight a Boss. We have a Snapchat that does not exist.
Sometimes I think about starting a Snapchat just for a day and just seeing what comes through.
It's going to be a big, long one. It's going to be an OTB, I tell you that.
What's your penis?
Oh my god.
Ew, no. John, do you have an erection?
Jesus, Bryan. Why?
Because it's so funny, because you're like,
Teach me how to love. My name is Super Eye Patch Wolf. Here is my video on love.
Stop.
So I want a drawing of John, but it's metal down there. And I'm like trying to plug in the...
We are going to move into our loose drop segments. Niamh, what do you got for us? Niamh?
Sorry, darling. Let me see. I have a really great YouTube video that you guys watched as well.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Born Sexy Yesterday from the Pop Culture Detective. And it's about this kind of pervasive trope that this guy, Pop Culture Detective, saw where it's women who have no prior knowledge. They're basically babies in giant female bodies. And how common that is and how fucked up that is. And it's a really good video about it.
It's one of those videos where you're like, you've never put two and two together, and then like the way he spells it out for you, it's just like, oh my god, this isn't fucking everything.
It just clicks.
It actually it made me understand why people like lolly shit so much. And I think it's even creepier than I ever thought it would be. And it kind of, you know, if you have legitimate over-the-counter reasons for liking lolly, more power to you. But
what would they even
I don't know. But it just seemed kind of pathetic to me. Like, just like the total opposite of wanting to improve yourself, but just like wanting to find someone who will like accept you in all your averageness. And I think that's so sad.
Yeah. It's a really good video.
Really good video.
Yeah, so he uses examples like from Fifth Element.
Was it Lilo?
Lila Mila Jovovich's character. Madison from Splash is a really good example because like that's not sci-fi necessarily, but it is super popular in sci-fi. It's super fucking rampant in anime,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
especially
it's fucking
like
everywhere.
Like
He mentions it in the video. He's just like, it's just even too much to talk about.
it's too overwhelming. But
Yeah.
like fucking Handshakers is like a really really good recent example of that.
He showed a clip of Outlaw Star, and I was like, oh.
When are you going to send him a death threat? Or are you just?
I already have. And if he ever fucking makes another video,
Harsh words, but you know.
you got to fight for what you believe in.
Did you watch any of the other videos on his channel?
No.
He has
Some of the Steven Universe ones.
the Steven Universe ones are really really good.
So good.
He's a really really clever, observant fella.
Yeah.
So I think everyone has to check out his channel.
Even
Grandma.
Bryan, you're pushing this grandma angle, and I'm getting uncomfortable because I feel like you're setting me up for something.
Yeah. John, do you want to read out your loot drop?
Yep, sure. My loot drop is absolutely not whatever the fuck someone wrote down it is. I don't know which one of you did that.
I did.
But don't say it out loud. I said at the start of this podcast, oh, this is going to be a weird one, and it's been so fucking weird, and I'm so uncomfortable.
So while like John's been like talking about stuff, I've been like messing around with the docket, and I've been adding in like stuff that like John is not associated with, but like he's loot dropping this. Apparently, I don't know why.
I know what I'm...
I think you go to jail for something like that.
Bryan, oh Jesus, I am loot dropping a musician on SoundCloud called Poolboy, and what Poolboy does is he'll take two songs that really, really should not go together, and he makes them work in a way that's so fucking magical and so special. One of my favorite tracks of his is the main theme of Twin Peaks mixed with like this really fucking cool like hip hop song. He has another one, and it's I think it's Linkin Park mixed with the track. I think it's called Sunshine. You know, the really popular one.
Is he Pool Boy or Pool Dad?
Pool Boy. That ain't him. I'm gonna link him, and he's super great.
I got him.
We'll listen to a track or two after.
Is this it?
We'll figure it out. Niamh, what do you got?
That was me. I gave.
Oh shit,
John, you're all flustered.
That's what fucking happens when you two do this. Well, I can't believe I have to hang out with you two tomorrow as well. I'm so...
Oh yeah, we'll get to that in a sec. So Mark Brown on YouTube, Game Maker's Toolkit, I've mentioned him before, but he did a 3-part series on the design of the Dead Space trilogy. And
when did he do this?
Like last week, past month, really.
I totally missed it.
Oh, they're really, really, really good videos, and it kind of talks about how the first Dead Space is a horror game with action elements, and then it becomes a bit of both. I love Dead Space 2, by the way.
That guy's incredible. Like, the way he breaks down shit. Like, he's not even, like, that, like, charismatic or anything, or even try to be that entertaining, but he just has such a, like, calm, logical approach. Like, he's amazing.
But then Dead Space 3 is definitely the weakest of the three, but he kind of, like, goes into why it's the weakest. I just thought it was interesting because a lot of people are talking about the Dead Space trilogy at the moment, because a lot of the other last-gen trilogy games are getting HD re-releases, like Bioshock, for example. But Dead Space trilogy on PS4 and Xbox One would be, like, so perfect.
Bryan, what's the last boss of Dead Space 3?
It's a cosmic horror fucking fish with, like, orange glowing eyes, and you have to shoot them.
Is it stupid?
Yeah. It's really fucking stupid.
Bryan answered the question like I was an idiot for asking it there, and I agree with him. That was a stupid thing to ask.
The last boss of Dead Space 2 is way better. You go inside your mind and you fight the haunting memory of your dead fiancé. And if she touches you just once, it zooms out of your mind and your character starts laughing and he blows his brains out.
Well, Silent Hill 2 called, and it wants its final boss back.
Sure. And there's a great bit in Dead Space.
Such a good face.
John, do you really want me to, like, counter you? I'll touch your leg.
Oh my god, guys.
Okay, let's end this podcast right now. I hate this episode.
But you know how I was talking about E3 earlier on? Visceral Games, who make Dead Space, the current game, they made a fucking Battlefield Hardline game or whatever that thing is. But the current game they're developing is a Star Wars original spin-off game written and directed by Amy Hennig, who did the Uncharted trilogy.
Yeah.
And all they've shown is 8 seconds, but it's supposed to come out in like 2018, and so it needs to be at E3 this year. Otherwise, I'm going to die.
Interesting.
Because, like Visceral are really fucking cool. Star Wars IP, original IP, so it's not attached to anything. The last one of those was Knights of the Old Republic, and everyone loves that. Like, this has a winning formula.
I regularly think about going back to Knights of the Old Republic and giving it a shot. I just worry it's too dated.
I played it like about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The first one. It looks like it's passable because it's so dated it nearly looks kind of charming.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like N64 era stuff is really dated to the point you can be like, look at this. But kind of mid PlayStation, Xbox stuff is rough. Anyway, friends, thank you for joining us today on the Let's Fight a Boss video game podcast. Once again, you can email us at askletsfightaboss@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter at Let's Fight a Boss or on Instagram, Let's Fight a Boss.
All the social media.
All the social media. This episode, I swear to God.
Test is a multi-stage capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. The 20-meter pacer test will begin in 30 seconds, so line up at the start.
That shit like I don't fuck with you.
We got a real jam going down. Welcome to the